The former chair of the House Financial Services Committee and pro-Clinton surrogate Barney Frank was on MSNBC, and he weighed in on Donald Trump's choice for Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, who is a former executive at Goldman Sachs, and he was very critical of Donald Trump for his connection to Wall Street. Take a look.
Donald Trump is in a difficult transition for him now from the rhetoric of his campaign to the reality. Of course, the very fact that he has now appointed Mr. Mnuchin, who was an advocate of cutting back regulation on, among others, his former employer, Goldman Sachs, and Mr. Ross, a hedge fund guy who's done a lot of trading. This is probably the greatest bait and switch since Trump University, in the sense that he promised people he was going to be tough on Wall Street and he was going to help the working guy. And in fact, he is Wall Street's best gift in many, many years.
Isn't that a bit awkward for you to be saying, Barney Frank? Because you endorsed Hillary Clinton. Guess who she's friends with? Goldman Sachs executives. And also, as chair of the Financial Services Committee on the House, you took money from the industry that you were supposed to be regulating. Just for example, you took money from FMR Corp, which is a multinational financial services corporation. Your other donors include JP Morgan Chase, American Bankers Association, Bank of America, UBS AG, Liberty Mutual, Bank of New York Mellon, Promontory Financial Group, Securities Industry and Financial Market Association, and the list goes on. So I think you're right to say that Donald Trump is in fact a huge gift to Wall Street. However, it's hypocritical coming from you, seeing that you sold out the American people yourself and were bought off and corrupted by the banks that crashed the economy. And look, I'll give you some credit for Dodd-Frank because it is better than nothing, but you rejected any meaningful reforms that would actually rein in the big banks. But I mean, you've been out of office now for a couple of years, so during the primaries, you supported the candidate that wanted to break up the big banks and reinstate Glass-Steagall, right? Well, no. In fact, you were very critical of Bernie Sanders. You were a pro-Hillary Clinton surrogate, presumably because you wanted a spot in her administration. And this is what you said about Bernie Sanders.
I'm sorry that Mr. Reich is kind of, they're picking on poor Bernie, who has, of course, been hypercritical of others. And by the way, the thing that most bothered me in that interview and elsewhere in the campaign is of a kind of a McCarthyite suggestion that the reason big banks and other institutions haven't been criminally prosecuted is in part because people have taken financial contributions. And that, by the way, is an attack on President Obama. Let's be very clear. The Secretary of State does not get to indict people. So the complaint that there were not criminal prosecutions has literally zero to do with Secretary Clinton. It's an attack on President Obama. I wanted there to be more prosecutions. There were some policy choices I disagreed with. But Senator Sanders' consistent suggesting that somehow people were persuaded not to do that because of campaign contributions is, as I said, it's a kind of McCarthyism. It's an accusation without substance.
You literally stated that to question Hillary Clinton's connection to Wall Street and the financial contributions she's received, as well as the speeches that she's given to them and made so much money. I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars, $225,000 per speech. You said that was McCarthyite to even question it. Unbelievable. Now, you also wrote this op-ed in Politico. You said, why progressives shouldn't support Bernie Sanders with the subtitle, Wishful Thinking Won't Win the White House. Well, apparently corruption won't either. Now, this is why Democrats have zero legitimacy. This is why the base tends to stay home, because you guys like to talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk, Barney. You defended a Wall Street shill like Hillary Clinton against someone that would have actually taken on Wall Street. And now you have the nerve to call out Donald Trump for being too close to Wall Street and say that he's the best gift to Wall Street in many years, when the candidate that you endorsed was an even bigger gift to Wall Street. So yes, I do agree with you when you say that Donald Trump is a gift to Wall Street, because he's proven that he is, in fact, a gift to Wall Street. However, you only call out that corruption when it happens on the right and not on the left as well. So it's okay when Democrats do it, but not when Republicans do it? Like, I don't get that logic. Why not just be consistent and condemn corruption and condemn any candidate or politician that's close to Wall Street, regardless of their party affiliation? Oh, that's right. You don't want to do that because you're a partisan hack, and also you were looking out for numero uno. You wanted to be in Hillary Clinton's administration. You were hoping to actually get Steve Mnuchin's role. But the fact that Hillary Clinton lost, because we all knew that she was a Wall Street shill, and it was so obvious, that makes you mad. So now you're angry at others for doing what the candidate you endorsed is doing or would have done. Just stop, man. Look, you're discrediting the left even more than it's already been discredited. We're already demoralized. Democrats had their asses handed to them at this election. So you need to shut up. Actually try to fight for meaningful reforms, or just go away, because we don't need to hear from you, because you're a hypocrite, Barney.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.